Hey guys, it's Lemming Rush. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game that I played on Mines. So this is an encounter battle. I don't normally feature encounters because I think they're pretty bad. A lot of the times what will happen on Mines and most encounter games is that one team will send 3 people to the cap and then they'll win the game within 3 minutes. Because no one knows how to deal with it. So you're going to see, this is the mindset that I come into this Mines game with, and you're going to notice I'm going to position myself to try to deal with that inevitability, because I think it's very, very common for teams to just ignore the cap circle. So you can see the typical hill wins the game craze is affecting our team. No one's gone to the 9-0. I mean, the tortoise is eventually going to notice it, but if they put 3 people on cap, the tortoise has no way to deal with that. So I'm trying to take the hill. Now I'm doing this, in my opinion, intelligently. So the way this map works is that a lot of people will just rush to the hill, and heavy tanks know that. So heavy tank and medium drivers will rush to this position to shoot the people who rush to the hill, right? So I don't want to cross in front of heavy tanks' guns, but I do want to get to the hill in this game for the reasons I've mentioned. So you can see I've sort of waited until people have left, and that's going to create some sort of opportunity. You can see the IS-7 shoots, and I'm going to take an educated risk and try to just cross. So at this point in time, I noticed they have what seems to be an AFK Centurion Action X. I didn't see him move, so I'm going to try to blind fire him a bit. I can see they've got, at the time I didn't notice they had 3 on cap. I thought it was just 1. So you're going to see I'm going to try to shoot this AFK tier 10. I don't want him to come back into the game and suddenly start wrecking our team. So we're going to take 3 shots here, and then from there, I'm going to notice and sort of go, oh shit, they've got 3 on cap, and we've just got a tortoise dealing with that. So in this case, we have 40 seconds left. I missed 2 shots on the Centurion. I think one of them hit, and we're sort of in this point in time where I've only got 30 seconds to save the game. So what you can see me doing is I'm going up to this rock. Now this is why I want it to be the hill. It doesn't give perfect shots, but if one of their 3 players on cap makes a slight mistake, I can get easy shots into him. So that IS-4 is the guy who's sort of in the open, and I'm able to just put shots into his side, which buys my team more time. The tortoise gets on cap, so we have even more time, and from here we're just going to sort of continue to pump shots into the enemy. So this is the hill being extremely valuable. I think in counter game mode is really dominated by the hill because you can get shots, but in the end you do need one guy, which that hero tortoise is doing the one guy job, to just sort of sit on cap, because obviously I don't have shots in the E5 or the E75 that are consistent. So right here we're focusing down the IS-4. At this point in time I noticed that they've got 3 heavies pushing into my T49, so eventually after I try to shoot at this IS-4 a bit longer, I'm going to rotate out, because if you look at the map, I'll just point it out, these guys clearly want to take the hill, and we've only got 1 T49 preventing that. So I see the IS-4 going to cover. I wanted to finish him off because I want to take guns out of the fight. The T49 loses his HP, and I'm going to turn around and try to help this guy. This is extremely important because the way the hill works is that once it's taken, it's very hard to retake. So these guys are trying to retake, and just by putting myself where I am right here, they're going to be in a huge crossfire, and that's going to make things very difficult for them. So there's an AMX-30 and E4, and I'm in my position, and so they're sort of screwed. So this is really relevant. You have to look at the situation. Obviously, I don't have to deal with the cap right now. The team sort of has that under control, so I'm just going to stay here. Again, I obviously don't want a 113 coming behind me. Once they start to back off, I'm looking for other opportunities, because in my mind right now, given where the teammates are, like we've got an E50 sniping, a Type 4 heavy who's playing D4, a lot of people who I feel are out of position, and I'm just trying to continue to do damage to give my team the best chance of success. So you can see the 113 pushes up. I'm going to go back and try to get shots in people. 5120 is low HP and he's in the open, so I'm going to take shots at him. And from here we're just going to continue to abuse this position. So 113 gives me a side, and I think it's at this point that I realize he's actually a friend of mine, so guilt kicks in. But you know, there we have it. That's how I deal with people trying to take the hill. I'll go into that position, and the AMX-30 and the E50M did an amazing job at stalling those guys. So right here you can see we're not under a lot of pressure. I still am feeling it because the team doesn't seem to have been doing much. I don't really have to point out people, but I just don't think we're going to win based on the team's positions. You can see even though the score isn't that close, I still feel it's very close, so I'm going to be trying to put as many shots out as I possibly can. So here you can see this T49 is looking for shots. I'm trying my best not to impede his gameplay. The second he moves, I'm going to start using this position, and I'm going to go for shots in the Emil, and then I'm going to, I'm going to try to share the position with him, but he doesn't seem to want it anymore, so there's that. Right here, there's the 113 below me. I did think about YOLOing my friend, but I didn't do it. The E75 pokes on me, and you know, we're just gonna try to kill again. The game is there. You can see the score. They're pulling it back every couple minutes. So I'm trying to save my 8 points. I'm not gonna throw them away, and we're just gonna try to get kills on really whoever I can. So from here, we're working on the E75. Normally, I'll take a look at my map. I see the Centurion Action X is pushing the 1 line. I'm not really worried about that because of the camping 50M. It's just something to be aware of. If that Cent AX gets behind me, I may want to deal with that. You can see the hill is, again, controlling the cap circle. That's really relevant, and we're just going to continue to try to use this position. I'm looking for shots in the Emil. The more damage I can put out, the better, because I don't feel that my team's very like, I'm not confident in my team. So you can see the 5120 comes behind me. He's a one-shot. We're, like, who cares? It's a 5120. He's a one-shot. He ends up dying. I'm going to look for shots on their campers from this point in time. I've done 4.8k damage, and I'm just trying to spot the STRV, who is at K5 or whatever. There's a 5120 in their base. I don't want to leave the hill just yet. I noticed the Centurion Action X pushing up, and so to me, that's like an opportunity to do damage. So you can see I'm going to try to deal with that. And that's pretty much it. From here, I noticed that T54, obviously, I'm okay to use my hit points at this point in time, because the thing is, if this guy gets away, I'm going to have to deal with him. So you can see it didn't work out. He did get away. I didn't accomplish my goal, but I'm going to go work on the Centurion Action X, who is actively throwing his life away. But if I can get rid of him before he kills the AMX-30, that would be the best. So you can see I'm just driving up. I want to get shots. I also don't want to shoot the T49. The AX gives me a shot on him. He's now a one-shot. I see that a mill. The team is going to kill the Centurion Action X, so I didn't really feel the need to allocate my time to him. From here, the 113 seems to be pushing back up, but he's a one-shot. We've got a Type 4 Heavy to deal with that. And this is how I approach the game. I mean, from here, I consider it a win, right? The Emil's low HP, we're on the cap, there's a T54 who's low HP. I definitely consider this a win. So at this point in time, or relatively soon, I'm going to get down the hill. I'm going to get more damage. So once I pick up the kill from the Emil, we're just going to dive off because the game's going to be over in 30 seconds. So we can just sort of speed it up from here. Obviously, they've got the STRV. I dropped down. I didn't expect the 113 to come all the way around, especially considering I'd just gotten lit. So put a shot into his lower plate, and from here it's just sort of trying to give myself even higher damage. So what I'm doing in this situation is I know that the game's over. I'm okay killing myself basically to get more damage. The 5120's a two-shot for me currently. He's left on 1 HP. The T49 picks up the kill, and that's the game. So I know from this perspective the score does not look close, but it was very close all game, and that's I think my impact with 7,500 damage was really relevant. Obviously, I mean, you can decide for yourself, but let's go take a look at the end plates, then we'll look at a strat sketch and talk about what the hill allowed me to do in this encounter game mode. Alright, so from this game you can see the original decision was to try to take the hill. Now, I didn't want to kill myself to do it. I tried to do it as best as I can while, you know, minimizing my loss of HP, and I think I did an okay job of that. You can see I poked around this corner, and then when I saw the opportunity, went up the hill, didn't take a single hit, and from there, it was just sort of a matter of abusing the position that I'd won. In Encounter, people are forced to go into this area. They have no choice whatsoever. So the hill really does control that. And I mean, you could see I had easy shots on the IS-4. The E5 was safe. The E75 eventually started to engage me. But the hill is very good at controlling the cap circle on Encounter. And I really suggest playing it if you're trying to increase your win rate on this map, in Encounter game mode especially. Because a lot of the times what will happen in Team Deathmatch is people will just sit here, and the hill isn't as good because all it takes is one camping TD or one guy to focus you down to prevent you from impacting the fight. So in counter game mode, play the hill. All of my damage, or like the majority of my damage, was done from this area. It controls the map. I would suggest trying to win it because, as you can see, in Encounter, no one cares about it's always the enemy team that cares about the cap. So yeah, I mean, that's the gist of this map from an Encounter perspective. As you can see, that was a Mastery Badge, high caliber, 98,000 credits, 7,500 damage, 4 kills, 1,323 base XP, and in the end we profited 6,794 credits. So, you know, I think a lot of it was because we ran out of APCR, because we spent 52k on ammunition, but there you have it, that's the game. again, I hope this video was helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. And I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.